Hello, welcome back to my Diploma Diaries for the third and final term of the course, where the first project we had this term is to make a chain link bracelet. It has to be at least 7 inches in length with a minimum of 10 individual handmade links. Now, in theory, that should have been quite straightforward to do, but as always, I decided to overcomplicate things by making my links twisted. Now, I went for 2 different types of twisted link for my chain and had varying successes with both. The first one, I used a length of square wire that I already had in my stash, and this came out quite well. Now, to make these, I just put the wire in the vise and twisted it round with a pair of pliers before annealing it and then wrapping it round a dapping post and sawing through the coil exactly as you would for any plain wire jump ring. I'm happy to say these actually came out really well, and I was really pleased with the results. I had no problem cutting through the coil, and once I'd done that, it was fairly easy to join both the ends up and solder them so that you couldn't see the join. Now, the other type of link I went for did not work quite so well. For this one, I decided to use the wire folded in half and twist it round on itself. I wanted to make it slightly chunkier in appearance, and that seemed like a good way to do it. The method was exactly the same as for the square wire. I put it in the vise, twisted it round on itself, and then wrapped it round a dapping post after I'd annealed it. Now, the difficulty I encountered with making these is after I'd made the coil and sawed through it, the tension in the wire, of course, was slightly released. This meant that when it came to joining them up for soldering, I had 2 ends of wire on each side, and it was almost impossible to get those to line up. So out of the 6 I created, 2 made it into the bracelet. However, all was not lost, and learning did take place, because when I came to do exactly the same thing with the gold wire, I annealed it as a coil before cutting through it with the saw. This time it worked, and all 3 of those made it into the bracelet. Not only that, but it was also 9-carat gold, which, as we know from previous videos, has been something of a nemesis of mine, and I can now happily say I've put my fears to bed of using that particular metal. So this is my finished chain. I'm quite pleased with the results. It looks chunky and the rings are quite large, but they are surprisingly lightweight, so it's very comfortable to wear.